I got a headache.
Oh, hold on. There we go. So we should be good now. Looks fairly good to me.
Okay. Fresh off 2 hours of sleep. This is Scarcasm. What's going on, everybody? I'm your boy Scarfinger, and this is an extension of August. August is not August anymore, but we had a scheduling conflict. So we said that we'd try to make it up on the back end. Chase is in the building, of course. Somebody with them loud ass fucking cars. Chase is in the building, of course.
Yep.
And we got Cam back on the show. Now Cam was supposed to be on the show with Ron, right?
No, Rojas.
Yeah.
Rojas. Okay, yeah, we did the show with Rojas. That shit was hilarious. I had so much fun with Rojas. Always Rojas is that dude. I really fuck with Rojas. Like, I don't know what it is. I just kind of like that dude. And like his name, like Rojas.
Yeah.
Bitch, it's like just being able to say, bitch, I'm Rojas. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's his last name, but like, if your last name is Rojas, do you need another fucking name?
Nada.
Bitch, I'm Rojas. But yeah, man, let me tell y'all what happened to me last night. I was up watching TV, and I realized it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm wide the fuck awake. Like, I was just wide awake. So I'm like, all right, let me go lay down. So I'm just laying there, and like nothing's happening. No sleep, no nothing. I'm wide awake. I just kind of start looking around. I'm laying in the bed. I'm looking around. It's starting to be light outside. It's like 6:30 in the fucking morning. And like it started, like you can see it's like the dawn has happened, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just kind of looking around like, yo, I am wide the fuck awake right now, and I cannot go to sleep. I don't know what it was. I wasn't like, like I wasn't bothered by nothing. Well, there was something in the back of my mind, but it wasn't in the forefront. Like because this is the anniversary of my brother dying. So like it was something that was something in the back of my mind, but other than like remembering my brother, like I was straight. I just couldn't go the fuck to sleep, and I'm just like, yo, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I made like a Facebook post, and I made the Facebook post. And like let me see how it was at 6:50. I made a Facebook post, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna fucking close my eyes, and I'm just gonna lay here till some shit happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna lay here till some shit happens, and I'm like, yo, this will be right around the time where I'm getting ready to wake up in the morning to get ready for work. And like, I'm wide the fuck awake. I'm so glad I didn't have to work today, because holy fuck, like what kind of, man, that's some bullshit. So I'm just kind of laid there, and then eventually I woke up like a couple of hours later. It was like I only had like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And then I just kind of like just laid there with my eyes closed. For I don't know how long. I was just like, I don't want to wake up right now. I do know I was very Chris Brown. Don't wake me up. And I finally got out of the bed like a little bit later, but like, yo, I don't know what the fuck was going on with me. And I just I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I just could not. I hope this shit doesn't happen tonight, because I gotta go to work in the morning, and I really hope that shit don't happen to me again. How about y'all? What's going on with y'all? Well, we do Cam first. Cam, how are you, sir?
Oh man, I just got back from PAX West, first in probably 7-8 years, and it was not the business. I was very disappointed for me, just because it was more like a PAX of super old where it was all indies, no AAAs. And I kind of had an inkling in my mind, like, maybe they're not out there yet. I wonder why I'm not hearing more about this. Why was I able to get tickets so easily? And then like I go there and I get in and I'm like, man, only AAA game there was Tales of Arise from Namco Bandai. Everything else was indie. I was very disappointed just because I don't really play on PC, so it wasn't the business for me. I went there for about my flight got there at like 7 a.m. I stayed in the airport for about an hour, ate breakfast, had the Uber person take me right to the convention center. So from like 7 until about 1:30 in the afternoon, I was at the convention center. Then I was like, I just can't do it no more. There's nothing here for me.
So you like took an airplane over there to see some pixels.
Pretty much. Luckily, Sacramento to Seattle was only like an hour and a half flight, so it wasn't too crazy. Like as soon as we got to cruising height, it was time to start descending. So, but yeah, like
I don't know nothing about that. I've never been on an airplane.
It's I mean, I wouldn't want to do it every day, but it feels weird to my like center of gravity. When the plane is rising, you could sort of feel your body being pushed down, and then once you level off or start going down, it feels like you're kind of floating. Freaked me out a little bit, but it was safe both times. Not really any turbulence, so it was good flights both ways.
Yeah, because the couple times I went to PAX East, the first time, I don't know, it was the first time or the second time. I think the first time I drove from Virginia to Boston, but I mean, I stopped. I was still married at that time, so I stopped at the in-laws, dropped the kid off basically, and then we went to go do PAX and all that other stuff, and then that's when then the second year we took the train, and the train itself not bad. It was just it was one of those. It was the overnight train, so it was a little bit weird, and to have a small child who does not understand her in-house voice yet, the inside voice. Pooh Bear was young, was that age where she didn't have her inside voice yet, and so like it's in like the middle of the night, and like she's like, "Daddy." Daddy, like when kids like think they're whispering, when she's like, Daddy, I gotta pee. Like,
Ember says I do that when I'm like trying to be quiet and I'm getting pissed off at like a PvP type game. I'm like, motherfucker. She's like, I'm screaming, but I'm whispering.
No, it's like, like with little kids when they don't have their inside voice yet and they think that they have it, it's more like it's the same voice, it's just kind of lower pitched. They think that they're lowering the volume. They're just kind of lowering.
They're just lowering. They're lowering the note.
Yeah. So
like,
instead of daddy, it's daddy. And it's the same volume. It's just lower pitch because she doesn't know how to actually lower her voice enough. I'm like, come here, because they were sitting across from me. I'm like, come here. And then I'm like, okay, speak it directly into my ear. And she's like, Daddy, I have to pee. And I'm like, I'm bleeding from the ears, Pacino. Because she's got a great ass. But that was the only time that I did it. And then my in-laws at the time picked us up in Rhode Island. Because I guess the Rhode Island station was closer to their house than going to actual Boston. And then we took my father-in-law's car to PAX. And we did the whole PAX thing. But the second year wasn't as good as the first year. The first year, everyone was there. The second year that I went, it was on Easter. It was Easter weekend. Okay. And so, like most of the people that we saw when we went there the first time, they weren't there at all. But
yeah, I feel so like pictures from that first year, and I see like Blue and like it's mostly like Sam's videos and stuff, and I'm like, I feel so left out, man. I wish I was there. Like, not to be at PAX, just to be around all y'all, you know?
But like, yo, I'm gonna tell you something. It was the craziest experience ever. Because first of all, me, me and my wife at the time, um, we ended up next door to Blue, Vic, and his wife. We were in the same hotel. We were next door to each other. And then like it's like what I say all the time. Like most people don't understand this, but like when you're a part of like not necessarily the gaming community,
I
but
thought
like
I thought you were about to say most people don't understand his. But Blue is short. I thought that's where you were going.
I mean, that too, but Vic Joe and Phoenix are really tall. Like they are tall people. Like I didn't realize how tall Phoenix was until like, holy shit, that's Phoenix. Like, okay, dog. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm 6 foot with shoes on, so like I'm not a little dude, but like, but Phoenix is pretty tall. Compared to and Big Joe is tall, and Kathy, Big Joe's wife, she's just as tall as he is. So like that's a whole lot of woman. There's a whole lot of woman. But like what I tell people this all the time. People who don't understand like podcasting and gaming and these communities and these things that we are a part of. If I listen to I'm listening to your podcast every week and stuff like that. For some reason, when we meet in person, other than your height, I know you. Like I really know you. And it's weird to say, and it's just like, when I drove to your house, Chase, like we knew each other, like we had never been around each other physically, but there was a familiarity there. I don't know if I said that right. There was something there where like we knew each other, and that's like
it's really weird when you really. Because if we're talking to Blue or hanging out with Blue, and then just wrapping your head around that he is like in Oklahoma. Like it's kind of hard to like grasp that he's that far away. It doesn't feel like he's that far away.
And then like that day that we recorded that podcast, we recorded a huge podcast back in those days, and we were all in one hotel room. Like, I mean, like, it was, like, a lot of the tag guys, like, a couple people from Gaming Husbands, like, not the people that are there now, but, like, a couple people that were there in its inception, like a lot of us, like, JVB, Phoenix, like, all of us were literally, we were all in one hotel room. Just talking and having a fucking ball. And like, and I look at that day, honestly, I looked at that day was one of the best days I've ever had in podcasting, but it was also the beginning of the end. Because nothing was ever really the same after that. And like I said, I met I met a lot of these people in person. I even met Hip Hop Gamer when we went to the club. I met Hip Hop Gamer when we went to the club. I met the dude who does the voice of Dom in Gears of War. There's pictures. I think they're on Facebook. There's pictures and I'm tagged in the pictures. Basically, what had happened was there was like a party, and it was like a gamer party, and he was DJing at one point, and then they wanted to do a photo op. We were at the first booth from like the stage where he was going to be, so they asked us can we move out of the way so they could do a photo op, and with some girls that were they were just some dancers, and they weren't stripping or anything like that, but they were just some dancers that they had just kind of around. And in the photo op, it's like him and the dancers, and then it's me on the side. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hold on, share screen. I'm gonna share screen. I'm gonna show you the picture. Can you see it?
Let's bring it up. I think we've had it on the podcast before, but I don't know if Cam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it.
You're on a different page there.
I'm sorry. But yeah, so that's me on the side while they were doing their photo op, and like on the other side is my ex-wife knee in Kathy's hands. Um, and then there was another picture. This is the picture of all of us after we recorded that podcast. And it's just like all of us, including me and Vic's wives, we were all in one room. And like you got everybody there, like soldiers there, like like Vlad's is right there. You know what I mean? Like all of us were in one room, just having an absolute blast.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I got to hang out with Vlad's and his wife that day. They're cool as a fucking fan. That day, just cool ass people to be around, and like it was just magical. But like I said, it just afterwards it just kind of felt like the beginning of the end, because we were never as together as we were around that time. It all just kind of slowly kind of faded away.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, when you know these people, like those are people that I knew, and like even the ones that I didn't know very well, which in this case was the gamer husbands guys. They were, I mean, I listened to the show a couple of times, but I mean, like, I was an Alfred fan, you know what I mean? Like, back in those days, I was a fan of Alfred. So like, but like, there's still some connection there that we share through the listening to each other's podcasts and just being a part of something. I miss PAX. I miss PAX. I miss the people. And I really wish that they would make a like another PAX that's not in Boston, because I fucking hate Boston. I absolutely fucking hate Boston. I always said that they should make one in Virginia Beach. Perfect place for this.
Well, there is a gaming convention in Raleigh. I don't think it's as big. It's called Play Up or something like that. I'll have to look into it, but I'm pretty sure everything's been postponed since whatever. I've never been to it. When I would go to the Galaxy Cons and stuff, they would be there,
and
advertising it.
And other stuff that's out there, like MagFest, is really cool. Only problem with MagFest is usually in January, right around New Year's. Well, it was just right around New Year's. Sometimes,
but to be honest, like colder, at least for cosplayers and stuff, you would think that colder months would be better, because like at GalaxyCon, I saw people in like full like Boba Fett. That was like hot as fuck in 96-degree North Carolina weather.
Exactly, but not in fucking January right after Christmas. Like those of us with kids, like what I mean. Like
you don't have the money to go. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So like the times that I went to MagFest. I went to MagFest a couple times, and one of the times I went, I was only there for one day because that's all I could afford. And getting a hotel room that was across the street and all that kind of stuff. Like that was all I could fucking afford. But I loved being at those places. I'm not normally a fan of crowds. Not normally a fan of crowds at all. This has to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Con Funk is real.
Oh, Nerd Stink is the truth.
Con Funk is the realest. It's so real. It is the realest of real. Like I said, when we went to the club that night, the place where I had that photo op, when we went to the club that night, I walked past somebody who smelled like he has never heard of deodorant. Never. Like,
he got
oh
that
my
shit in
God.
Monster Inc. That odorant. He was shoving down the wrong aisle.
Yeah, that shit. I was just kind of like, oh my God.
Pop your soul out your chest. Boom. Bruce
Yeah.
Banner separated from Hulk.
Yeah. And then here's the weird thing, because we went to a party, and it was a party that was like it was like a party, but it was in an actual club, and they rented out an upstairs room for PAX related activities or whatever like that, and like, yo, dog, nerds are stupid, bro. Nerds are stupid, and they are fucking dumb. It was just a whole bunch of nerd girls just kind of standing around and like not really just, and like some of them would dance, but they were just kind of dancing in a group amongst themselves. Like the dudes were kind of oogling the dancers, which if you could see from those pictures, it wasn't like there was much there, but like, you know what I mean? Like they were dancers, but like, yo, your people are right over there. Your people are right over there, and they want to dance. Go talk to them. And I sat like that the whole time, like, yo, what's wrong with y'all? Like, yo, it's the hardest part of any male to female courting interaction is your introduction. Your introduction is already fucking made. You already know what they like. They're there because they like fucking video games. That's it. Get them talking about their fucking video games and go dance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit just drove me fucking crazy. MagFest was a little bit different because they had these rooms where because MagFest, it stands for music and gaming. So it's like these like nerd groups and nerdcore rappers and all that kind of stuff. They would have like concerts and stuff like that. And it was a little bit different. It was a little bit different because like, they would have like this big room and there's a stage way over there. There's a stage way over here. Somebody's performing this while somebody else is setting up and all this kind of stuff. And like, so like people were dancing, but it was just like how it is when you go to like a concert where everyone's just kind of paying attention to the performer and not necessarily paying attention with each other. And I'm just like, yo, dog, she right there.
Is there any
like
nerdcore rap that's actually good?
I liked Mega Ran. I liked Mega Ran.
Oh yeah, I forget about him, but
I was there. I was there at MagFest when he proposed. He did a freestyle. Brought her on stage. He did a freestyle, and it ended with his proposal. I was there that day.
Because like whenever I think about it, I think of like all these like kind of like YouTube rappers and like they would all, every time a new video game would come out, there'd be songs about it, and normally they all had the same kind of beats where it was like ragtime but electronic, and they were rapping over it. Like everything always sounded like that, like Cotton Eye Joe, and it was like rapping over it.
The thing that I hate, that I absolutely hate, I can't stand chiptunes. I'm sorry, I can't do this. Like, I can't stand chiptunes. Fuck out of here with this shit. I do not want to hear, like, I made a song based off of the board of the NES. Fuck out of here. Get a fucking keyboard, dick. Just make a real fucking song. I don't like chiptunes. And like, like most of these people I didn't know. Like, I didn't really know very much at all. But like, but Marcus, Marcus was a fan. Marcus, Angel Linux.
Yeah.
So Marcus was a fan, so he like knew these people, and Rob like knew all this shit, like knew who everybody was, and I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. And he like, as a group, we decided to go to the Mega Ran show, and I'm just like, oh man, that was actually kind of cool. Like that dude can actually rap. Like, he can do this. Like, holy shit. Um, but like, it was still a good thing, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing when you can hang out with your people, because regardless of what people think about what we do and what we're doing right now, like these are still your people, and it's always good to hang out with your people. Except for right now, this ain't the time. I saw a concert yesterday with my daughter, and I were on the phone, and I was watching something. I was watching a video, and she, we were just talking. It wasn't really about me. We were talking about school or something like that. So I kind of put, there was a live stream from a Tidal concert on, and that was a lot of fucking people. Very few masks. I mean, a lot of people. Some sort of festival that Tidal was doing a live stream. And so I caught like the second half of Roddy Ricch. I caught Doja Cat's whole set. She didn't do Moo, which I'm upset. She didn't do Moo. She did Tia Tamara, so I was okay with that. Tia Tamara hitting the whip. Like that shit hitting the whip. And I know a lot of people aren't fans of hers, and there's some things about her being ashamed of her blackness and not really liking black people that much. But like I thought she put on a pretty good show. But here's the problem. Justin Bieber was the headliner.
Huh.
So the whole time the chat was just champing at the bit for fucking Bieber. And so my daughter was just like, oh, Bieber's coming on, let's go. And I was like, no, we have to watch this now. We just went through 2 acts of people just going crazy waiting for Bieber. They were calling him all kinds of things. They were calling him the king of pop, all kinds of shit. And I'm just like, whoa, hold on, dog. First of all, we got a king of pop, we got a queen of pop. You can't be neither of those. We have a prince of pop. I don't know if you heard this, but the prince of pop is not fucking Justin Bieber. It's Usher. It's fucking Usher. I don't give a fuck what you say. The prince of pop is Usher. It just so happens that the king and queen of pop, they're
You
they're
think
related,
he could be
but
the
they're not
Duke
married.
of Pop?
I don't know what the fuck he can be. But let me tell you, we had the best time just looking at the comments. The comments were better than the show for Justin Bieber. The comments were much better than the show. Justin Bieber, I realized like after the fact, I know like 4 or 5 songs. Previously, if you asked me, did I know a Justin Bieber song, I would have been like, okay, I know about 2, maybe 3, but the third one is like him singing singing the hook on a rap song. You know what I mean, like that type of shit. But I don't really know Justin Bieber like that. So, but apparently I know a few Justin Bieber songs. Some of those I didn't quite know it was him. Like I heard the song, like the "What Do You Mean" song. Like I've heard that song before. I just didn't know it was him. But the show was not very good. Well, not to me anyway.
Well, I don't know if I would want a live chat during a concert. Like it's kind of like, do you?
It's the best. No. You don't do a live chat. You don't do a live chat for a show of someone you care about. But reading the live chat for a Justin Bieber show, greatness. It made that show for me. It absolutely made that show for me, and we enjoyed the fuck out of our time. Like, oh, holy shit! Like we enjoyed. Like there were arguments over like you know, like he was performing some old songs, some new songs, but of course, like some of the old songs is when he was with Selena Gomez. So like all the people was like, "Oh, he misses Selena Gomez," and they were like, "Shut the fuck up, he's married." And like they were just going back and forth like the whole time. I wanted to comment, but YouTube has this thing now that the users that the people can turn on when you're doing a live stream where you can't comment unless you're a subscriber. And I wasn't about to subscribe to Title just so I could talk shit about Justin Bieber. Like it wasn't that important to me. But holy fuck, the amount of people that did. Like, and then like people were talking about like saying dumb shit like Bieber supremacy, and I'm like, bro, I don't think that's the word you want to use. I don't think that's the word. I don't think supremacy is the word you really want to use about this. But do as you do.
Use that word when it comes to Destiny.
I mean, that's the only time I use it. Warlock supremacy is the only time I personally really use the word supremacy. That's it's just not a word black people use. Supremacy is not a word unless we talking about white people. But like that is not something that we is not a word that we use. We don't use the word supremacy. You know what I mean? Like instead of saying like white supremacy or whatever like that, I'd rather just say racism and call it what the fuck it is. Like so, but it's just not a word we use very much. Except for talking about Destiny, because it's Warlock supremacy all day. Warlock son. But but
Warlock's in these streets, boy. Oh shoot.
I think we lost him on that one.
that experience for go ahead.
Oh, I think we lost you on that. Like
I hear what you said.
You were stuck.
No, you stuck to us.
Oh, really? Oh, I was stuck.
No, who was stuck? Was it me or was it Cam? Because Cam got stuck for me.
Oh, okay.
Only you got stuck for me.
Oh shit. I didn't hear what you said, but yeah, man. I would say this: the Doja Cat experience, because I didn't know most of the songs. First of all, I will say this: she put on a good fucking show. I was very surprised. It was a very, very good show. The backing bands for all three of the acts that I saw the backing bands were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So like that, but like the Doja Cat, like the chat worked for Doja Cat because I didn't really know most of the songs. So like I said, if it was a live stream and like say it was Beyonce or something like that, I don't want to watch the live. I don't want to have the chat on for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something I want to have the chat on for. Because man, if there was a chat for Homecoming, nigga. If there was a chat for Homecoming with all of the marching band stuff that she had going all through that show, like most people weren't gonna get that at all. So there would have been all kinds of questions in the chat. So I wouldn't want to watch the chat for that unless I look at the chat on the replay. But for that, I want to experience that live without interference.
Yeah, because it'd be cool to like if you had like a live stream that was like a concert, or maybe somebody you knew had like a projector and be like, "Yo, we're just gonna have a couple of friends over. We'll watch this live stream, we'll have it on like the the subwoofer or whatever, and it feel like you're actually at a concert versus you're just watching a concert on your phone."
Well, first of all, I was watching on the TV. I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube on my phone.
Okay.
But second of all, I don't know, because like if I invite some friends over to watch a live stream or something like that, we can be talking through it. I'm black. We talk through shit. And like, you know what I mean? Like the comments that I would have put on the live stream is what I would be saying to y'all. You know what I mean? Like what would have happened if we would have went to that concert was there a while back? There was a concert in Fortnite. Remember, there was a concert in Fortnite.
Oh yeah, I went to that. The what's his name? That's doing what is his name? He's now with, which I actually listened to that song, that new song that he has with what's his name?
Oh, Anderson .Paak. It was Anderson .Paak show, right?
Yeah. That's the name. But he's teamed up with
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. That shit's pretty good too.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you about this shit. Sonic or whatever the fuck. Let me tell you what the fuck it is. It's Bruno Mars with Anderson .Paak. It is not Anderson .Paak with Bruno Mars, or not even fucking 50-50. This is all Bruno Mars shit that Anderson .Paak just happened to be a part of. And I'm not a fan. I like Leave the Door Open. I like that little commercial that they did. They did a commercial for some sort of liquor or something like that, and that shit was jamming. But like, bruh, I need more Anderson .Paak in this music, bruh. It's a little too much Bruno for me, dog.
I can get that, but yeah, I thought it was weird doing it in Fortnite, but that was a good show, man. And I know those kids didn't know what the fuck was going on, but
But see, here's the thing. If I would have been in a chat or something like that with you during that show, I would have been saying the same shit I would have said in the live stream chat.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. It all just kind of goes, and you know they've had all kinds of shit. Like they have all kinds of shit in Fortnite. I don't even know why Fortnite is the destination to do shit like this. Wasn't there like a Travis Scott thing and all kinds of other stuff, and I'm just kind of like, this is weird.
I know that people really like Travis Scott. I don't really know much about him, but like most of the stuff in Fortnite, I don't really care about. It's just the only one I cared about with the Anderson .Paak.
I like a few of his songs. Astro World was solid.
I mean, that's the one that's like everybody's like 10 out of 10. But
yeah, Astro World was solid. There's a couple of like, you know, like there was a couple of songs where it just kind of went down. Like the Paul McCartney songs with Michael Jackson. It was just kind of like, okay, but but and, like it's like, it was like the rest of side A on Thriller. Like it starts off strong and then it kind of goes, and then it comes back up on side two. If you got the tape, you know what I'm saying. If you got the tape, then it's a different situation. But Astro World was solid. Like it was real solid. And there's a couple of other songs of his that I liked before then. So like I'm cool with the idea of Travis Scott. I'm not like a fan enough to like really know like a lot of stuff of his. You know what I mean? Like it's like I know some shit. Like if we were gonna have a Travis Scott conversation, I'm gonna have the conversation that Michael Jackson fans have. Like I'm just gonna talk about Thriller. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna talk about the shit that I know.
Well, I think a lot of times where it's just us getting old to where it's not that we're like dismissing new music. It's just that there's so much. You're like, I just don't have the time to keep up with shit.
Not true for me. Here's why. Marching bands. Marching bands put me on to a lot of stuff that I had never heard before because I heard a band play it and I go, oh, what's that? So then I go listen to the real song. So that's a lot of how I keep up with modern stuff. And a lot of it is not bad.
Yeah, I never said it was bad. It's just
no, but you know, like how old people do this shit. The music of my era was the best, and congratulations, you just became your parents. But like no, I get put onto a lot of music through marching bands, and that's how I stay kind of current. I'm not like all the way current, but I kind of stay current because of marching bands, because the marching bands are going to play what's hot and like, or what they think might sound good. So I'm like, okay, so let me try to find out what this real song is. And a lot of it is I go to find the song so I can compare it to the marching band's rendition of the song. But like some of the times, I say most of the time, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. Let me put this on the playlist.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I listen to a lot of new popular music, but I definitely I think I listen to more newer music than older music. Even though I'm like, these bands are really good and I really dig these bands, and but they still don't make me feel like something that I grew up with makes me feel. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but
Nah, I don't have that same. I think I think the feelings are different, but for me, they're still there. I think a lot of the stuff, like, like if I put on Stained, I remember what it was like being a young adult feeling like that. You know what I mean? Like Linkin Park, I remember what it's like being a young adult feeling like that. Like so, like the feelings for me now are for, oh, this is what it must feel like to be a young adult right now and to be a rich young adult. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's what that feels like. Okay, I get it, and I get like, like, so like I'm not. I don't. I'm more open to it than a lot of my peers
Yeah.
because, like, most of my peers, they just name all modern rap mumble rap. They just say it's all mumble rap. Fuck it, and they just kind of leave it alone. And it's just kind of like, well, the '90s was the greatest and all that other stuff. I'm like, nah, we had some bombs. Like, bruh, remember we used to like the Foo-Snickens? Like, I remember I used to like the Foo-Snickens. Do you want to listen to the Foo-Snickens, or do you want to listen to what's on the radio right now? Do you want to listen to the Foo-Snickens right now? Like, you know what I mean? Foo-Snickens or Travis Scott? I'm gonna choose Travis Scott right now.
well, the thing is this is with any era. Like, be like, oh man, the '60s had the best music, or the '70s, and then yeah, you're remembering the things that had the staying power. You're not remembering all the fucking shit, and there was some shit in this, absolute garbage.
I'm more of a like. I'm not really like a, like people who listen to like the variations on rock music, they go back to like the 60s and stuff like that. That's cool. But like for people who listen to black music, like the 70s is where it's at. Like the 70s is where a lot of shit got real. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh shit, that's what I'm talking about right there. That right there, I see you, dog. Like, like that's that shit right there. So like, I think it's different. I think it's different for the different musical genres.
Even Miles Davis is like, what happens if I put my trumpet on a guitar amplifier and distort that motherfucker?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna play my trumpet into this microphone, and I'm gonna have a distortion pedal. So you like that? I'm gonna play this bitch with a wah wah. You know? And I mean that's a real shit. You know what I mean? Like this, that's a real shit.
That
It's
bitches
like the
brew, man. Bitches
yeah.
brew.
It's like the And I'm not a huge jazz guy. I know some jazz. I'm not a huge jazz guy, but I know a little bit. But it's like that old bit that what's his name who shit, I can't think of his name. Comedian dude, played in a whole bunch of low budget stuff. Um, fuck, what's his name? But he had a comedic bit about people who, like, the people who were like the first people to do something. And like, he was just like, yo, like, what in the world made Alexander Graham Bell decide to come up with the telephone or any variation of the telephone? It's like, I want to talk to somebody that's not even here. Like, you know what I mean? What made you what made someone like come up with that idea? And that's a lot of that is in the 60s and 70s musically. It's just like, I'm gonna add a wah wah pedal to my trumpet. He's like, really, dog? That's what you're gonna do? Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, like especially with
Yes.
like Hendrix and stuff, like people don't even think about like certain pedals and stuff because we've always had them. But back then, they were like brand fucking new. Like nobody had heard that shit before. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. And then like some of the weird shit that like Tom Morello came up with. Like it's like, okay, so if I use this pedal and I take my guitar and I move it up to the amplifier. When I do this, it sounds like I'm scratching a record. You know what I mean? Like, who thinks of that? Like, who the fuck thinks of that? Like, what is here that makes you think I'm gonna make this shit sound like I'm scratching a record, dog? It's
I mean,
Tom
even
Morello,
thinking like
Black
before that,
All-Star.
like who thought about like,
Revolution.
well, I'm gonna
Also,
play the record.
Also, Slash. I just want to say this. I want to say this before we move on. Slash is one of us. Black All-Star. Slash.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen his mama? Like Slash, nigga. Like he one of us. That's us, dog. That's why he look. That's why he always got his hair in his face. He don't want y'all to realize he black.
But
Oh, Rachel Dolezal.
No, there ain't no Rachel Dolezal on that jump. And
Oh
but,
yeah, he
like,
tried to hide it, not pretend that he was. Yeah.
no. Have you ever seen Slash mama?
Mm-mm.
Yo, look that shit up. Slash and his mom.
Was it on Scarcasm? Was you talking about the like Pete Wentz and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, I didn't know that either. I was like, wait a minute, wait a
Like, the really crazy one is Rashida Jones. Rashida Jones is like the funniest because like, have you ever seen that interview? Have you ever seen that interview where the lady was talking and like extremely glowing about her tan? And it was like, oh my God, your tan is like fantastic. And it's just like, oh my God, you look so great. And all this other stuff. And it's just like, she's like, do you know I'm black, right? Like Quincy Jones, like the Jones comes from Quincy Jones, my father. All right, I'm gonna share the screen one more time. I'm gonna show y'all Slash and his mama.
all right.
Oh, wow.
I told y'all Slash one of us. Like I was like, if you ever seen that dude mama, like that's one of us. We out here, dog. Like
The nose knows. The nose knows.
the nose knows. That's Slash and his mama.
Wow.
Exactly. And most people don't even know that.
I only knew because I had been told, but I didn't know like from seeing like side by side. Here you go.
Yeah, and like Lenny Kravitz. Like the crazy thing about Lenny Kravitz is like his name is Lenny Kravitz, but like we've all seen his mama.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like his mama was on the Jeffersons. You know what I mean? Like his mama was an actual main character on the Jeffersons. So like, okay, I think I've been talking too much. What y'all got going, dog?
Well,
Go ahead.
well, I did have a sort of a topic that I was kind of thinking of because I've been I've been playing a little Destiny, but I've been playing it with kids. Well, my son and his friends, they were kind of wanting to get into it, so I was kind of being a little bit of a Sherpa, and I was wondering, are we the last of the hardcore gaming generation? Do you think once we
100%.
go away that they're not gonna 100%? Because
100%.
me and Amber both. Amber got really frustrated because she was like, "I'm having to me too, having to explain stuff that is like second nature." I'm like, okay, you need to go to the map, and this is like, okay, a little bit. Destiny is a little convoluted, so there's it, but this is like stuff that's like, you go to the map. All right, go to where Spider is and click A to Well, I don't see that. Like, just move your thing. Okay, and they're like, I can't go in there and like help them or whatever. I'm like, man, just go to the map. It's like, well, where's the map? You hit RB. Well, which one's that? And I'm like, oh my god, just okay. And then I'm like thinking, but then they play Fortnite and all this other stuff, and I'm like, why is all this stuff confusing?
I think what happened was the Wii. The Wii changed everything. We are not of the Wii generation. We were adults when the Wii came around. And that's where the divide happened. If everyone from the Wii up, they are not the same kind of people. They're not the same kind of gameplay in public. You know what I mean? Like they're
I guess that was like 2006. So that was the year that Facebook and the smartphone started coming out too.
Yeah, and then like Candy Crush and fucking like Candy Crush and like all of those Zynga games and fucking what was that the one on the farm? The Facebook joint that
Farmville.
Yeah, Farmville. Farmville got people fucked up in the game. You know, people spending all kinds of money that they ain't really have. Kids buying a whole bunch of shit like fucking Roblox and fucking Minecraft and all of this stuff really changed the game for them. And I don't personally, on a personal level, I care nothing about Minecraft. Like nothing. I don't want to play a game where I have to make my own fucking fun. That is not something that I want to do. And like that's
because the thing is, Minecraft's main mode. You don't have to make your own fun, but they don't want to play that because every time I'm like, "Hey, let's play survival." Like, there's an actual game here. They're like, "Oh no, let's put on creative," and I'm like, "Okay, once I make too many Mario's, I don't know what the fuck to do."
Fortnite sounded like a great idea in its inception. The way that you had to when Fortnite was announced before PUBG made Battle Royale a thing. Mm-hmm. Fortnite was a game where you and your people, y'all go out in the day and try to find a bunch of supplies and building materials and stuff like that, and you're building a fort because at night, Fortnite monsters tried to come and take over and try to take your shit. So your goal was to protect your things. So you built up these forts for the night when the monsters were attacking. That was the inception of Fortnite. But then PUBG hit and Fortnite was like, we can do that. No one cares about the other mode. As I understand it, the other mode is in the game. It's not in the free version.
Yeah, I have the other mode, and it's pretty good, but I just never had anybody to play with.
Yeah, see, like, no one gives a fuck because, like, you know, Battle Royale became a thing. And, like, you know me, I don't get Battle Royale. I don't get why Battle Royale is fun. I don't get why. Well, first of all, I'm not very competitive. Second of all, I don't get that, like, I don't get playing a game that, like, I could be playing this for, like, 2 minutes and then get shot and the fucking game's over. And there ain't no respawns, dog. Like, and then I got to find a whole new fucking game. No, thank you.
No, thank you. And also, I've played that with them, too. And I'm like, we've been winning stuff, but they don't want to do that. They want to go and find the firefight. I'm like, why don't we play Call of Duty and you can find the firefight? Because when we win is when we go out to some barn and we hide and let them kill each other, and then we just kill the 2 guys that's left, and then we win. And that's the game. But they just want to like go and find somebody to kill, and I'm like, okay, that's not the point.
That's a moral fucking victory for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that ain't no win. That's not how you win anything. That's not how you win. Like, I don't want to win like that. You know what I mean? But in reference to like games like Minecraft and stuff like that, I want a game I can win. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I want a game I can win. And like my daughter got on me one day and she let me have it. she's just like, "What you? Every time I talk about Minecraft, you act like rah 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 rah. It's not my fault. You hate Minecraft and all this other stuff." I was like, "When have I ever said I hated Minecraft?" She was just like, "No, but you hate it. You're a hater." And I was just kind of like, "Child."
Oh,
Yeah, my daughter is reckless, real reckless. She called me a hater all the time, mostly these days because I hate K-pop. But she calls me a hater, and I had to explain to her, it's just like, yo, I don't want to play anything where I have to make my own fun. I need a game with a goal. Like I need something to do, and I need someone who is a game designer to make this for me. I want them to craft an experience. I experience it.
I mean,
That's how
because that's
that's
how
how
we
I
like
play
do in
games.
life too. Like, do you want to go to a job to where they're like, okay, figure out what you have to do, and you're like, or do you want to like have a goal, have an agenda, what you do that day, and that's what you do? You know, I'm the guy that
Right.
answers the phones, or I'm the guy. No, they're like, okay, figure it out, and you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna quit. This ain't the
Exactly.
job for me.
Yeah. And I explained that to my daughter the other day, um, about uh, about she's having trouble with math, and she was just like, my teacher said we can't use a calculator, and I can't use a calculator because if I use the calculator, I'm not actually writing down what I'm doing. I'm just using the calculator, and I'm gonna fail the question. And I'm just kind of like, that's just for school. School is about, do you know the answer? Work is about, if I ask you a question, can you find me the answer, and can you do that in a time frame that is agreeable for the both of us? That's how jobs are. A job is not going to be like, like if I walk up to you, like you work at Walmart. If I walk up to you and I go, how much is this table? You, bitch, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? But like, can you find me the answer? If I ask you a question, can you find me the answer? That's what jobs are. If I ask you a question, like, can you find me the
And
answer?
when you
If you
give
don't
the answer, they're not gonna be like, show me how you got to this answer.
exactly, they're just gonna be like, all right, they just be like, all right, then I use a calculator every fucking day, all fucking day. I can probably do the math in my head. I can. I
Well, the thing
100%
is,
can.
when it gets to more challenging stuff, like you can't just put an equation into a calculator. Like you still kind of have to know the out what to start with and use your calculator with that. But like,
Yeah, so yeah, I hate when people say, "Well, I never used what x plus y equals z is in the real world," and I'm just like, "Have you ever used Excel?" You know what I mean? Like, you need to know a little bit of algebra if you're gonna use Excel to its fullest. You need to understand how to set up something to where it's like when someone comes behind you and punching some numbers, it's going to give them the right thing. If you understand how to build an equation, you can actually like do stuff. It's like, I've never used this. Well, you've never used Excel, I'm guessing. Cam,
uh,
what's going on, dog?
oh, tomorrow is Frog's first day of pre-K, so 3-year-old preschool.
Fuck yeah, Frog. What up, dog?
No, it's ridiculous. I don't want him to go. Stay home. He's too big. You get too big.
Yeah, this shit, I try to tell people that shit goes by way too fast. Like, you was like, damn, you just started walking. And it's like, wait, you going to preschool? When the fuck did that happen?
They're over
Yeah,
here playing hide and seek earlier. He's counting down from 10 to 0. I'm like, okay, go ahead, dude. Go ahead. Are you ready or not? Here I come. I'm like, okay.
you you better than me. I fuck with my daughter one time. I don't know if I told. I know I've told this story. I don't know if I told it on the show before, but I fuck with my daughter because we were doing the whole thing with flashcards in preschool, and there was these cards, and it was like 1 through 12. and we going through it and going through it and going through it, and she's blowing me off, and I was like, well, do you know it? And she was just like, yes, I know it. And I was like, okay, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna shuffle this deck. I want you to put all of these cards in order from 0 through 12. You get it right, you get this candy. You get it wrong, you get to watch me eat all this candy. Man, did she cry when she fucked that shit up and had to watch me eat her candy? If she wasn't so reckless, she would have been all right. But she cried her ass off watching me eat her candy, and I ate all that shit right there in front of her. And she kept trying to get up, and I'm like, The agreement was, you get this right, you get to have it. If you get it wrong, you get to watch me eat it, and you get to watch me eat all of this.
Yep.
I'm not about to reward you. Like, she thinks that she's supposed to get a reward no matter what. No. That ain't how this shit work. Yeah, I felt like my ex-wife tried to make me feel bad, and I'm just, why you make her cry like that? I didn't make her start snot bubble crying. Like, I didn't even think she was gonna cry. I just thought she was gonna get mad. But like, she was snot bubble crying because I ate her candy.
Well, hey, she shouldn't agree to it. You wasn't willing to pay the cost.
She doesn't understand consequences at all. Like, she still don't. Her idea of consequences is her philosophy. Her philosophy is that meme of like, I asked God for a bike. I didn't get a bike, so I stole a bike and I asked for forgiveness. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I asked for forgiveness because I ain't had a bike, so she'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission.
That's the hard thing I want him to learn is things don't just happen in a vacuum. What you do matters. Maybe not to you, maybe not today, but somebody someday. You can't just do what you want all the time. It has a repercussion. But you can't tell a 3-year-old that. It's hard to get them to understand. But before he gets out of this house, he's gonna learn.
Yeah, that's the problem with school these days. Because school has this thing now that they've done, for the past few years, where the teacher gives you an assignment, and you got like 2 weeks to turn this shit in. And like, if you miss the deadline, for a lot of school systems, as long as you get it in before the end of that marking period, it still counts. So a lot of these kids aren't doing the work until the last minute. And so, like, and my daughter got caught in that. And that's what she got caught in last year, especially with this online school and shit. She's just like, well, I ain't really got to do it. It's just like, no, you should do it and get it out the way. No, I ain't got to do it. And then it gets to the end of the marking period, and she's just like, holy shit, I got 30-something assignments that I need to do. And then you end up fucking failing. But of course, they don't fail kids these days.
Yeah.
They don't fail kids these days at all. Even with children as worse grades, as bad as grades as my daughter had last year, they didn't fucking fail her ass. And I told her, I said, I hope they fucking fail your ass. But I said, you better get this shit right next year. Because the year after that, your ass going to high school. And high school don't give a fuck. like you might be able to get away with this shit right now. High school don't give a fuck because everything is on a class-by-class basis. You're not worried about passing the whole grade. You're worried about passing this class. Yeah. And if you fail that class, good luck, dog. You're gonna have to take this shit again. I'm not paying for no fucking summer school. You just gonna have to be a super senior. Shit is what it is, dog. Yep. So, but like, yeah, she doesn't understand consequences at all.
Ugh, crazy. Ugh, and then work is just wild and crazy. I've been, I do the schedule for the front end at work, which is like 100 people, and I do it Monday and Tuesday early in the morning. So I come at 7, leave at 3:30. And then it got switched on me with no reason. That's why I couldn't do it, because after I committed is when they changed it, and I was trying to switch with people, and no one else writes a schedule, so I couldn't switch with anybody. So it's like, it's just crazy. And then we had to the schedule had to be done 3 weeks in advance, because that's what we'll post online if you want to go look at your schedule. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh, it needs to be 2 months in ahead. And then I'm getting asked from like the managers, like, oh, is it done yet? I'm like, what do you think this is? 3 weeks to 2 months? Like, it takes me, on a good day, I could get a week done in a day, on a good day. And I only get 2 days in a week to do the schedule. So how do you want me to do this? Like,
That's what I hated. That's what I hated about when I was in one of my jobs in storage. Your schedule for the next month needed to be done by like the 15th or the 20th or something like that. So you had to have an idea of what you were going to be doing next month by the 15th or the 20th the previous month. It's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be doing next month.
yep.
Like some stuff like that, where I'm like, that is expected of us, and we're thinking like, oh man, that ain't fair. And then the kids are like thinking that because we didn't have mac and cheese tonight, that it's not fair. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, it's a lot harder than this. You know?
Yeah.
I just take my talking to and I just keep on going, and then I go to the next manager lower and I'm like, hey, can you get me some extra time in here? And then I tell my like other soups, like, hey, you guys, I'm sorry, but I got to do this thing. So you guys, I'm not gonna be out here with you. I got to make that schedule. I'm sorry. So I hate time to do it, but again, adulting, you have to create the answer. You know what I mean? It's not given.
It's crazy. And how's just the rest of life, man? Like, fatherhood and everything else that goes along with it.
It's good. I feel like I appreciate time with him more now. I don't know why lately. It's just because he's his own little person now. He's like, he does his own little thing, his own little attitude, and it's just funny to just experience it and like kind of set him up. And what are you gonna do if I do this to you? What are you gonna do if I do that to you? And the missus keeps on putting the pressure on me. Oh, how come you haven't asked me to marry you yet? Why aren't we married yet? I'm like, no. So, all right.
All right, let me ask you the question that like people who know you, like have you started making that little nigga work out yet? Like have you started? Does he do push-ups and shit? Like do you make the little nigga do push-ups? That's what I'm talking about. Like right now.
No, not yet. Just some body weight squats. Some body weight squats. That's about it.
Okay.
Keep him limber. He's got the good little kid flexibility and stuff like that I'm jealous of. So I try and make sure he stays nice and limber. But then he likes to run around, and like I'll go for a run and he'll be on his scooter, and I'm like, man, you need to keep up, dude, or go home. Like,
so a lot of people who don't know that haven't been around for a long time. Cam used to be pretty big dude. He used to be, Cam used to be my size or maybe even bigger. And he dedicated his life and he completely changed his life. And he made some sacrifices and put the time in the weight room and everything else and completely changed his body, completely changed his health. And for anyone that's been around for a long time, of course, like, dog, we are so proud of you for doing the things that like a motherfucker like me can't. Like, I'm not willing. I'm sorry. I'm not willing. I'm not willing to do all that. But I know a lot of people don't know that. So I'm just putting that out there. Like, if you seen like when you used to put those before and after pictures up on your Instagram and shit, it's just like, whoa. That's a change. That's significant. But yeah. So that's why I asked, has he made his son start doing push-ups and shit yet? Because we know the changes that you made, and I'm just saying, is that gonna filter down at some point?
I would like him to be exposed to it, but just from my own experience, it's not something you could really make somebody do. Either you're gonna do it or you're not. Like when I was in high school, I had a personal trainer that was like, if you do this, you could be this and that, and I just didn't believe it. I'm like, man, I'm just a big guy. I'm not gonna be anything other than a big guy. I can't. What do you want from me? So like.
Right.
It was fast forward 10 years past that, and then I started doing my own thing, and it was like, man, I really think I could have been something if I would have had this mentality and work ethic back then. I could have, man, you would have seen me throwing up the U on Saturdays and throwing up whatever on Sundays. Like,
right. Do you want your son to play football?
I don't mind. No, I don't mind if he does. The missus does not want him to play at all. So the desire to not argue with her is probably enough for him to not play. I just want him to be passionate about something. Like, so I named him Kellen because my favorite player is Kellen Winslow Jr. Now, he's not the greatest of people nowadays. You can look that name up and find out all the things he's done in his life wrong. But I felt if he is as passionate about something in life,
Hey,
I'm
gonna say this. You ain't name him Caruth. So like, good job.
Well, hey, he's from here. He's from Sacramento. So yeah. But
you ain't name him Caruth. We good.
Yeah. So I just want him to find something that he enjoys and be about it and it be a positive thing for himself and or others, As long as he's not hurting anybody, I'm happy. I'll be with him,
Is there another path that you would like to lead him down? If football is not going to be it because of the misses, like want to pick up some round ball or play some kickball, soccer. But like
if it's gonna be
kickball to me.
Sport, I mean, I could help him with baseball. I love baseball. Was my first sport. I played more baseball than anything else. I could definitely help him with that if that's something that he was interested in. But whatever he picks up, if I don't know it, I'll get into it to be able to help him as much as I can. I don't want to just leave him out there like that. I mean, my dad, whatever I was into, my dad tried to be into it. Not really video games. He never picked up the sticks, but whatever sports I was into or extracurriculars, he'd take me to it and ask me about it and stuff. Whatever he could do to show his support. I want to be that for.
I just wish Pooh Bear would find a passion.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be like, I want to be a writer. I was like, all right, cool, but like, have you written anything this whole summer? No. Well, what makes you think you want to be a writer? I don't know. I just want to be a writer. It's like, yeah, but like, she's at one point she said she wanted to be a cook. And I'm just like, okay, like, what have you made? Like, what recipes have you looked up? Like, what? And I'm just kind of like people who want to do something. Writers write. Chefs cook. You know what I mean? Like, Like musicians play instruments. Like she wormed her way out of being a musician. But like I knew she didn't want to be a musician because she never practiced. Mm-hmm. Never. And then she's just like, well, I can't read music. It was just like, that's not the point. Like, you didn't even try.
Right.
It's just kind of like, I really wish you would find a passion, something, anything that like would get you going enough to do something on your own without someone having to tell you.
Well, a lot of that stuff takes, because I've actually bring back Rojas. Maybe that our Rojas talk was before the podcast. I'm not sure. But he says a lot of times, and I don't know if it's because of his own daughter, but that the kids are better at like video games than we are. And then I think they should be. But like the hand-eye coordination, the reflexes, all that stuff is a lot sharper than ours.
Bullshit. Have you ever seen a young person try to play Mario Brothers?
Right, but they don't have the patience to stick with it.
Right.
Like our kids should be killing us in Halo or whatever, but they don't because they die once and then because
Yeah, because
like my son would want to play guitar, but because he didn't do it in the afternoon, then he's frustrated and mad at it. And
right.
I was like, well, things take.
It's that episode
time.
of the Cosby Show. The episode of the Cosby Show where Denise wanted to be in a singing group, and he sat Denise down and was like, "Well, how did it go?" She wanted to go have some singing lessons or some shit like that, and it was just like she just had, she was bored because the lady just had them like running scales and stuff like that. They weren't actually singing anything, and he said, I know Bill Cosby is kind of a touchy subject, but this shit is real. He sat down with his daughter and he said, when I was young, I wanted to play the drums. I saw this person playing the drums and I saw him going rickety dickety 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 dickety, and I wanted to do that. So when I had someone try to teach me how to play the drums, we started with click, boom, click, boom, because if you don't have that foundation, you'll never get to a rickety dickety 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 dick. That doesn't happen. That, the kids just don't understand that. And even back to like the Cosby Show, like Denise was distraught because she wants to be a singer, and she was just singing scales and like warming up her voice and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, no, you need to have, this needs to be your foundation. Like in order for you to do anything, you got to have a foundation in something, and they just don't get it.
Because I even thought like, oh, is Aiden? Does he want to play video game or think video games is his thing because he's young and a lot of kids play video games and his parents play video games, or is this really not his thing? Because he's only beat like 2 games, and he's like, well, he's only 13, but in his whole like from like 5 years old to 13, he's only beat 2 games because he plays Minecraft and whatnot, or he just like plays a little bit of this and mostly watches YouTube and stuff. Like, so I'm like, is video games really his thing? But then other kids are the same way. And I'm like, that's when it went back to like, are we the last of hardcore gaming generation? Because they might play video games, but it's kind of like we're not sitting around playing G.I. Joes or action figures, and are they just going to like grow out of it?
See, like the crazy part about it is like when I play with action figures and shit like that, them motherfuckers had a storyline.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was acting out an action movie. Like, this is, I'm acting out an action movie. Like, that's what we doing right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, my mom said, "Are you playing?" And I was like, "No, I'm not playing. I'm making movies." And that's that's actually what I said to her.
Yeah, and it's the internet generation that's like, they want everything instant. Like the idea that they can't, like, that's the reason why like Vine was so big with young people. Like, oh, I can watch this cool ass video. It's only a few seconds, and like the way TikTok works and like shit like that. It's just like, I don't get TikTok. I don't get the point. I never got the point of Vine. Like, why do I want to watch something for 10 seconds? Like, what's interesting about 10 seconds? I want to watch a half an hour fucking show. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. Like, this shit makes zero fucking sense to me. But and then
I mean, at least give me 11 minutes, because 11 minutes is like, like like a cartoon that has like 2 episodes in one. It's 11 minutes. Yeah. So at least do that, because you can put a whole storyline in 11 minutes. But like this like seconds shit, come on, get out.
Yeah. Before we move on to consumption, there's something that I have to say.
Okay.
My Xbox broke. Apparently there is an update that pretty much does everything but brick your Xbox One. Apparently it was a bad It was a bad update, and basically what happens is your Xbox turns on just fine, and then it's just a black screen. And the only thing that you can do with the controller, you can long press the Xbox button, and you can turn it off, restart it, turn off the controller. That screen comes up, but no other screen comes on. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you do it. The shit don't work.
Is this everybody or just like?
It's happening to a lot of people, and apparently, it was happening to a lot of people that were in like those preview programs, and they were talking about it months ago, and didn't get it fixed. The update started rolling out to regular people in August. And since I haven't been playing a whole lot, I never got the. I hadn't turned my Xbox on in a few weeks, so I ain't really thought about it. You know what I mean? So one day my Xbox just decided to turn on by itself. I'm like, okay, that's weird. It turned on by itself. I swear it turned on by itself. I'm not joking. And then I switched the input because I was watching TV, and I switched the input, and it was like, oh, it's doing an update. All right, cool, whatever. And then it restarted after the update, black screen. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on with my Xbox? Because I had intended on turning my Xbox on so that I could download Madden so I could play the story mode. I don't really want to play Madden because Madden kind of terrible. But I wanted to play the story mode thing, that type of stuff. There was the trial, and the trial got extended because a lot of people are having issues with Madden this year. So I tried everything. I looked up YouTube videos. I Googled it, and they all was just like, yo, you need to reset your Xbox. Like, reset it. Like, but you can do a reset and still keep all your games. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I don't have to re-download anything. I could just do a reset. We good. So I did the reset, and I tried to do the reset. I could not get the troubleshooting screen to come up to save my life. I tried it every which way that I saw on a bunch of different YouTube videos. And eventually, I just said, fuck it. I guess I'm done with Xbox for now. Because I'm not upgrading anytime soon. I can't afford it. So, like, I guess I'm just done with Xbox for now. I guess I'm just going to put some time into my PS4. I guess I gotta buy PSN Plus, as much as I don't want to do that. Like that type of stuff. I was to the point where I was about to turn off my Game Pass. Like all of this shit was going away. All the love I had for Xbox was gone. So I put it on.
It says that people are calling it Black Screen of Death, which is a little homage to the Red Ring of Death. So
yes. So yeah, is a pretty widespread problem. For just a regular Xbox One. And so I put it up on YouTube, not YouTube, Twitter. Put it up on Twitter, just like, yo, my shit's fucked up. I guess I'm done with this shit. And just a gentleman just out the blue hit me up. It was just like, I did a video about this. And so like I clicked on the video, and it was one of the videos that I watched. And for some reason, it did not work for me. I could not get the troubleshooting screen to come up. And I was just like, oh, well, I guess I'm done with this shit. And he was like, well, if you got a moment, send me a message on Instagram. Maybe I can help you out. I'm like, all right, if you think you can help, I'll do it. So I sent him a message, and I went to Instagram. I follow Instagram, hit him up in the DM. We were video chatting, and my Xbox worked a little bit different than others, but he actually got this shit working for me. Like really? He 100% got this shit working for me, and it's just like, I think in that one act completely restored my faith in the gaming community. Like, because you know me, I haven't been up on the gaming community for a very long time, but just like this one, just random cool ass dude was just like, I got you. And like I said, I didn't know this dude. And like I said, I watched his video. I watched a myriad of videos. They all basically said do the same thing. And yo, he really fucking helped me. And he runs a YouTube, is a like a tech, more like a tech blog, tech thing. And I just wanted to shout him out on this show. His I think he might actually have his own business. Sage's Computer Repair. His Twitter name is Sage's Comp Repair. I'll put it in the episode description.
Yeah, I retweeted it too.
Yeah, holy fuck! That dude renewed my faith in the gaming community, and he saved my Xbox because I was done. Like I was just like, yo, this shit sucks. I can't get this screen to come up. And this dude actually, like, for real deal helped me.
Did you get PlayStation Plus?
I was about to. Well, whenever I got around to playing the game, I was just like, man, I got about 2 Point Hospital again. But yeah, so Sage's Comp Repair on Twitter, sagescomputerrepair.com is his website. And that dude, just a genuine dude, actually like truly just kind of stepped in out the blue and really helped me. He's out of Texas, so all of my San Antonio people, holla at your boy, and hit him up. And if you have some sort of issues or something like that, and he might know the answer to, he's a good dude to go to because like even when I hit him up on the chat, he was in the car. Like he helped me. Like he was sitting in the car. And he helped me get my fucking Xbox working. So I wanted to make sure that I said that. And I'm going to say this on, like, if you listen to the other shows that I'm on, like Return to Oswald or Single Servant Podcast, you are going to hear this all over again. So
that was real nice. That's a good thing, man. I'm glad somebody was able to help you and was willing to help. That was very nice.
Yep.
It was really dope. I had some people like commenting and stuff like that, and you know offering advice and all this kind of stuff, but like no one was actually able to help me, and he did. So word up. All right, so are we going to do consumption now?
Sure.
All right, Chase, go ahead. You start.
Me, I've the past episodes I've had a lot, but this episode I have two. Which about a week, the day after the last podcast, I played some Mortal Kombat 11, which it's been on my computer for a while, and I just needed to finish it. And you know, the stories on those are fairly short. Really, all I wanted to do is play through the story, which are pretty good. You know, it's kind of like a movie that you sometimes fight in. You know what I mean? It's like a big cutscene, and then you'll fight a part of it or whatnot. But yeah, it's just so big. Like it's just like 100 gigs. You know what I mean? So I was like, I need to finish this fucker because it's very graphically impressive. These new games. Like, when the new consoles came out, they're like, we're still 500 gigs. They're like, no, y'all ain't. That's like 4 games. Like, you know that, right? Like,
Ooh,
Jesus
right.
Christ. But, and started back playing Destiny 2.
I got request. I accepted that, so we got to get on some raids. The raids going.
Yeah, the reason because I hadn't played since the beginning of Beyond Light, because I didn't quite like Beyond Light. like I didn't really like Stasis. It kind of messed up Crucible, and like I was just kind of like, it's kind of getting frustrated. But then when I came back to it this year, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. But like I think I was just kind of like a little frustrated with it. And I just like grinded out like a season. But then when I saw this new season, how long it is, I was like, I can get back in because I'm gonna have a lot of time just to like take my time because this season goes until February.
Yep.
It's a long fucking time for like a season. And so I finished Beyond Light, so that's a win to like, because I've been trying to finish games, so I finished that. So and then but I think it's been pretty cool. Like I did get a little pissed because I had bought the current season. I kind of had to buy it twice because I was like,
oh,
because I got it and then I wanted to do the Splicer stuff, but I couldn't just buy the Splicer DLC by itself. I had to get the Legendary Edition thing.
oh, okay.
So
The Splicer stuff was good. The overrides and stuff, those were fun. The expunge, yeah,
those seem pretty cool. And you know, the Fallen Babies were awesome.
Oh yeah.
But,
hey, even 14 wants to help the fallen babies.
Yeah, and it seems like a really good time to get into Destiny, even if you haven't before, because it's got the crossplay to where it's like. Actually, I'm kind of excited to see who I haven't played with in a long time on PlayStation. Because PlayStation is my Destiny home, because I started Destiny on the PS3.
Yep,
so
me
those
too.
People, I'm not sure if those people even play Destiny, but it'd be kind of cool to find out. It's just I don't have my PlayStation here, and the best way to like see who's playing Destiny is to actually log on my PlayStation and say, "Oh, add." Only way I was able to really do it is to go on the Bungie Net thing, and that doesn't really work all the time because it'd be like, "Oh, you give you errors and stuff," because it's having to like get into these accounts that don't really want it to be in. It'd be like because I'm always having to redo the PlayStation thing, and I haven't done the Xbox. But I'm like, it's super cool because I'm like, I finally get to play with like, I could play with Cam and Meef at the same time. I've never played Destiny with Meef. Like, because I played Destiny like maybe not very long on the Xbox, and it was just with my brother. So, but it's still good.
Oh yeah, preaching to the choir. That's my game. I might step away, when the season gets dull, but that's
what I would do, and that's what kept me kind of playing it. Is because, but I see these people with like all this perfect shit and these like titles and stuff. I'm like, if I did that to like get that kind of time into Destiny, I would want to like take Destiny and bury it in the yard. But the reason that I don't do that is because I do take time away from it.
Mm.
Because there's so many other games. You don't have to play just Destiny all the time. You know what I mean? But Destiny wants you to, but you don't have to. You could really just play Tuesday, do all your weeklies, and then play other things throughout the other week if you really want it. But
Iron Band going on this week if you haven't played it all yet. I mean, today's the last day, but Iron Band is always get some extra gear.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the power level yet to really have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not about like just going in there and just getting killed. But
yeah. At least they made where you could freelance it though, so you don't have to get rolled by a clan. You could just get rolled by random people.
Yeah. Hey, maybe this will get Scar into it. Then he knows that he can play with you and me and Meef and just.
Not because I'm not buying nothing.
There's still go the free to play track.
Yeah, but that's not what y'all want to play.
You wouldn't be able to raid, but you could still do regular Crucible and missions.
I have never completed a raid. I have only tried one.
I've never completed raids in Destiny 2. I completed them all in Destiny 1. Actually, I didn't do the last one. the Rise of Iron one, or the machine one.
Yeah, that was. Oh, I love Raids of Destiny 1 were better. There's a couple that I haven't done in Destiny 2, but I've been in every major raid. I haven't done like one or two of the raid layers from Leviathan, but all the main raids I've at least been in there, if not completed it.
I've only attempted the first raid from the first game.
Well, see, we can correct that now because it's back. Vault of Glass is back. Oh, it's probably paid though.
Yeah, if I got to pay for something, that shit ain't happening. I'm motherfucking broke.
Dude, I feel you on that.
School just started. Pooh Bear started school on Monday.
Ugh.
The previous Monday. It's like, so no, ain't gonna be nothing for me for a while. I had to scrape together some change to go buy me some vape juice. I'm like, man, I gotta last till Friday.
Damn.
It gets tough, but hey, like any game to where like they implement crossplay, you're like, hey, this is the thing, because we're all so splintered, you know. Like, because I wanted to get that Aliens game, you know, because it's like Left 4 Dead but with aliens, and then is not trying to be anything more. And I was like, that seems fun, but where the fuck do I get it? Who do I want to play with? Because it's not crossplay. Because if I get it for PC, I'm playing by my fucking self. I don't know anybody that's getting it for PC, but if I get it for Xbox, I gotta play in my son's room.
Yeah, I wish the only thing I wish I wish the Division was crossplay.
That yes. I think I bought the second one and I never even played it. I played some of the first one. I enjoyed it, but just like I played it between Destiny high times, and then when Destiny came back with something new, I dropped the Division and started playing Destiny again.
Well, it seems like you are on PlayStation mostly, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Is
mostly.
the Discord thing on there yet, or is that still out?
I bought the Division 1 on PlayStation because someone said we were gonna play, and then we never actually fucking played it after I bought the fucking Gold Edition.
Huh.
I wonder who the fuck that was.
That blue.
You know who the fuck you are. And Blue said nope. He's in the chat. He said nope. He said he's late. His son had a game. No, the fucking Chase ass. I wanted to play on PC. I bought it for PC, and my PC just can't do it. And I ain't got the money to upgrade my PC enough to.
Yeah, but the thing
because
is,
I'm probably gonna need a video card, and that the video card market right now is. Whew.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, even if you had the money, you can't fucking get them, you know?
I don't even need like the biggest, baddest. Like, I just need to be able to play the Division at a pretty good frame rate. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't need like 427 frames like y'all PC elitists do.
I mean, I have an old card.
60 frames is good for me. You know what I mean?
My 580. Like, I paid. Well, I got it on a deal. I paid like 170.
That's what Blue just said. Blue just said 580.
Yeah, but the thing is, I paid like 180 for it, but like it normally would run around 220. It's like $600 right now, and I'm like, it's not worth those $600.
That's what happened to me when I was in the position to upgrade. It was not in stock. It was never in stock. And then the price just kept going up, because what I was going to try to take a step further and do the 90 instead of the 80, because I'm like, well, I got the money right now. Then I kept waiting for it to come back in stock. And even though it wasn't in stock, the price kept rising, because I have a thing that's attached to my Amazon that shows a graph of when's the best time to buy shit. And that shit just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And I'm just kind of like, yeah.
I mean, but it's not like it's any different for consoles. I mean, I mean, yeah, they say like, oh, the consoles is really sold really well. I was like, no shit, because they're sold out, but it's not sold to regular fucking people. It's sold to like people that are reselling the shit.
Right. So Blue said it's not worth the 600. He said he really hoped I would have got the 590. Me too. Apparently I don't really have a whole lot of RAM. I don't have enough RAM. What I was gonna do. I was gonna get a video card. I was gonna get some RAM, and I was gonna get a solid state drive. You know what I mean? Like because I don't have a solid state drive in my I got an external that's supposedly solid, but I don't really know if that's the truth. But but because it was too cheap to be solid, but I'm just gonna let it ride.
Because I know your roots and your roots and are in console gaming. Like you like sitting on the couch and be getting comfortable, which I kind of do too. I miss sitting on the couch and getting comfortable and playing games. But it seems like you would be a PC gamer because the kind of games that you really like to play are PC games, like your base building type games, like. But it's just,
oh my god! Speaking of PC upgrades, as a part of the other show that I'm on, Return to Oswald, I'm watching the HBO show Oz, and we are currently on season 5, and we're doing the show tomorrow. But I watched the first episode of season 5, and one of the characters was talking about getting an upgraded computer. He was like, man, this is awesome. I got 128 megabytes of RAM and everything. He was serious too. Um, um, yeah, I mean, well, as far as those games that you were saying, yes, I think a lot of those games that I like to play are PC games. Um, but those are not games that I enjoy playing with people. You know what I mean?
right,
When,
but
if
you
I want to
like.
play something, but if I want to play something with people, I want to play on my console, sitting there with my headset on,
Well, I
connected
have
to my
Amber.
computer.
Like she has the computer. It's hooked up to the TV. She, you know those little bedside tables that are like for a laptop. That's what she's got her keyboard and mouse on. To where she needs it, she'll bring it around. But she mostly just
Yeah,
uses her con. She's just playing Mass Effect on the PC. But like, it's like her PC is her console.
yeah. I thought about. I'm possibly getting my old my Steam box back. And I was like, yeah, I could plug this into my TV, and this will be great.
Mhm.
My um
I see that
my
360
daughter.
in the background there.
Yeah. I don't even watch TV up here. It's just here. It's just a thing. I did it just in case. I did it just in case I wanted to watch Netflix or some shit like that
What's on that memory
because
card? You even got the memory
that's
card and
not
everything.
that's not a smart TV. Yeah, you're right. I got the memory card, the little stand for the little charging the 2 batteries thing is over there. All this shit is up here. Actually, my other 360 is over there too. Um, is
What
my
you're saying
my
like the
special
batteries, man? What astounded me is how many people that are Xbox gamers still use double A's. I was like, man, y'all are spending so much money on batteries. What the fuck? Get the rechargeable batteries and be done with it.
yeah, I got the little thing. I spent like $20 at GameStop, and I got this little stand that plugs into my Xbox. It came with 2 batteries, and the little thing that the battery has some like a connecting thing on the outside, and you just gotta sit it in the thing and just let it charge
well,
up.
well, on this one, I do have the double A's in it, but I don't I'm hardly ever plugged into an Xbox, so they just stay good because it's mostly just plugged into the PC. But
Right.
Aiden has the chargeable one.
Yeah. I would think I would love to upgrade my PC, but then again, I would rather just get a new PC at this point. But like, it would be a lot easier if I actually had good credit, so I could just get a pre-built one. I mean, this one was pre-built. I got this. It was a leftover from Black Friday, and it had everything I needed at the time, and it was great. And I've had no issues with this until I tried to play the Division 2. Anything else I want to play works just fine.
Yeah, I remember when I had the 2080 and I tried to play Division 1, I was like, I think I was playing with you. I was like, holy shit. Everything looks like shit. Remember that? And like I was like, it's not even running right.
Yeah, if I try to play the Division 2, that shit's a motherfucking flip book. Everything is fine until the game actually loads and I try to move. Everything, like the frames are high, like 100 and something frames while I'm in the menus. As soon as the game starts, flip book. That shit drops down. The frames drops to the teens the moment I try to start moving. So yeah, it sucks, but you know, I bought it. It's there, so whenever I get around to it, I would love to do another Division playthrough. I'm kind of like, but like, me, I'm spending a lot of time. My consumption is mostly about watching people play games and not necessarily playing games myself.
Mm-hmm.
What I really want to do is I want to do another 2 Point Hospital playthrough. I realized when I did it the first time, I live streamed it and the live stream wasn't great. Instead of just recording the episodes and putting those out. The live streams weren't great, so I kind of want to do another playthrough like that. But the problem is, my Xbox is downstairs, my PC is here. So it's going to be a lot of moving stuff back and forth, but I'd rather play it on Xbox so that, using my capture card and stuff like that, I'm not bogging down my PC, even though I have it on PC also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. What else you got for consumption? Because,
that's it. I do have one, not a consumption, but you think we should get back into like ask for a question for the podcast, get some community involvement? Because I have this on because I started bringing up the notes again, and it reminded me of, it was like questions for the podcast was questions to us from the community, and then we used to do a question of the month, and
we can do that. We can do that. We have to find a question though. And we have to make sure that we come up with a question like before the next show so we can say it on the show. So all of the people who are not in the Discord, like Mike J and stuff like that. And like, Cam is like a, Discord neophyte. Like the people who listen to the show, can actually get in on it too.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing. I think we should get back to that. We need to do another poll for us playing a game.
Yeah. That didn't really go too well last time.
No, because y'all motherfuckers chose black. And then by the time we actually played black and came back, we ain't heard from Scott since. I mean, we heard from Scott a little bit in the Discord, but we has got back on to talk about why he chose black in the fucking first place.
Well, he said on the podcast, he was like, I saw black in the Game Pass. I thought maybe black. Let's do black.
Yeah, and then we all had to play black, and we all hated it. But I actually did play it.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't finish playing it though.
I think the problem with black, it was just too old. I don't think it was a bad game. I just think it was an old game, and it was a game. It was a game before its time, or before a good time in first person shooters. And of course, let's be honest, it's a first person shooter made by the niggas who made Burnout. Like, come on, dog. Like, what are we talking about? what are we talking about here? These motherfuckers made Burnout. So they made the good Burnout.
Crazy. It is crazy. Like, what if like all of a sudden Playground Game starts making like shooters? Like, it's like it's basically what happened.
I mean, BioWare. BioWare made Anthem. I didn't hate Anthem. When I went back to it, I didn't hate it. And then I stopped playing because they were getting ready to do they said they were still working on that update, and then they had the thing, and then EA was just like, nah, son. And it was
It
done
brings
for
up
me.
a little something like, I saw an article to where the thing that's leaving Game Pass is Forza Motorsport 7, like the newest Forza sim racing game, that the Horizon ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And at first I was like, I thought all Microsoft games are like on Game Pass forever. But this game is getting taken off the stores and everything. They're like, oh, we're done with this. And I was like, yay, digital future. It's so awesome.
Well, they never said everything was going to be there forever. So, like, and they said,
Yeah, but
they
it's
never
like
said,
it's
they
like
never
going
said,
off the
they,
store and everything.
but they never said that all of the Microsoft stuff was going to be there forever. They just said that they were going to be there first.
Yeah.
They never said forever.
Well, what with the whole like sarcastic thing about the digital future is that it's being pulled from the stores and they're just not selling it or supporting it anymore, and you just can't buy it. It's just like this game is ceasing to exist. And
Hey,
if it was on a disc,
I own 2 Human.
Me too.
Exactly. So, like 2 Human, like after that lawsuit, 2 Human is not only not available, not only taken off of the store, that game has been scrubbed from fucking existence.
but you
I
can
really
play it because you have it on disc.
I was hoping they were going to finish the trilogy out.
I hope so. You know what? People should stop announcing trilogies. Like I think you announce it and say that we have plans to do others if this does well. That should be your messaging when you put out a game like that. We have plans to do others if this goes well. Because if this don't go well and that trilogy don't get completed, you're just like, man, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like Ender's Game. Those there was supposed to be a series of movies, and then all that stuff came out about his homophobia, and damn, I don't even get to see fucking Speaker of the Dead. Like, this some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I want to see those. I like the books. And like 2 Human, I wanted to see what the evolution of 2 Human was going to be, because it was not a bad game. It was a weird game. It was not a bad game.
Yeah, the fighting system was definitely different. Not, I wouldn't say unintuitive, but it was very stick based, right? You just kind of move the direction, which way, what kind of attack you want to do, right?
Yeah, you have to learn that shit.
Yep. Man, I like that game. I think I have it like still sealed up somewhere because I rented it and liked it, and then I bought it and never opened it and played it. But man, I love that game.
Yeah. I put my old discs and stuff. They're on a shelf right now. They haven't been organized and actually put on the shelf like they're supposed to. I just needed to get the box out the way, so I just kind of emptied the boxes and just threw them on the shelf. But I seen it recently, and I was like, man, I thought I was gonna like this game. That 2 Human would have been a better game if your dying animation didn't take 30 seconds. And you die a lot. And that animation, it plays so much, and it's the exact same animation, and you're just like, bruh, can we please not do this? So, all right, what you got for consumption, Cam? I'll let you go before I go.
Well, of course, same game as always, but let's see. Did I talk about Dr. Death last time? Was that even out yet?
I don't think so. I don't know about no Dr. Death.
You guys know about that?
Nope.
So it was a podcast first, but the missus put me onto it. It's like this it's a real story. Doctor in Texas who did like 39 surgeries and like 33 of them went wrong, and 5 people died.
Shit.
He was doing spinal surgeries, and he was just tearing people up. Like, get in there and just rip through like spine and take out the wrong disc and stuff like that. But it was weird. Like he knew what he was talking about. He could explain everything that needed to happen for the procedure to be successful, but he couldn't actually do it.
Let me tell you something. And I want you to hear these. I want you to hear this, people. All the people. If you got a surgeon that had this many botched surgeries. Now, the first maybe about 5, I let it slide. You don't know no better or whatever like that. But if you don't look up your surgeon's ratings before you go into a fucking surgery, everybody from 5 on deserve what the fuck they got. Sorry. I hate to be the motherfucker to say this shit, but like, yo, if you are going to have surgery done and he's botched 5, yeah, I'm gonna find me a new surgeon. Straight up.
The thing about it though was that they had been like covering it up because Baylor University like had recruited him to come be a surgeon for them. But when they started getting the bad reviews on him, they kind of swept it under the rug and like let him leave with a good recommendation just to get him out of there. But like he had come up with some like research for stem cells, and so everybody wanted him to implement that, but he was good at the research and the theory, he just had no application. And that's what he wanted to do was be a surgeon and get all the accolade and have everybody know him around town and stuff. But he was tearing these people up, and he'd say, oh, the surgery was perfect, that wasn't my fault, that was somebody else's fault, and somebody else did this and that, and that wasn't me. But then like some doctors started saying, like 2 of the doctors in Dallas were like, I had to come in after him, and this was a rookie mistake. Like anybody who's ever done any hours in surgery knows not to do this, or you know what I mean? Like they could avoid this mistake. And so it was crazy just to see the politics of it and how he felt about himself and how they swept it under the rug. It was really good. It's on Hulu, I believe. No, okay. Peacock. It's on Peacock. It's on Peacock.
Let me tell you.
Dr. Death.
As soon as you said Baylor, I was like, sounds about right. Because Baylor had that issue where they had a whole bunch of like sexual assault and all that kind of stuff with their athletes taking advantage of women and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And it was just like, it started off as just kind of a thing, just like, oh, like a couple of women at Baylor saying that shit's fucked up, and then turns out it was a huge fucking deal, and they was sweeping all of this shit under the rug. So the moment you said Baylor, I'm like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it was crazy, but very good show. I hope I never have to have surgery again.
Yeah, I haven't had surgery in a long ass time, but I'm black, so like give it a couple years.
One of the people was black. He killed her. It was a black lady he killed. It was Jack. She had the surgery because the husband wanted her to be able to help more with the kids, and the doctors were telling her that the problems that she had couldn't be operated on, and he was like, "Yeah, I can do it. I can do this, and that." So when he came with the plan, oh, I didn't think you could do that. Okay, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And he killed her.
So basically, he Dave Chappelle'd his way through a whole bunch of surgeries. You know that skit Dave Chappelle thing. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I couldn't do that through surgeries.
They would be like, oh, maybe you want to do this. I'm the doctor here. Like you're dismissed. That kind of thing. And it was like, dude, this person is bleeding a whole bunch. They shouldn't be bleeding that much. Oh, you gave them the wrong amount of this or that. Like it's like, no, man, you're killing them. You're nicking them up, dude. You're just digging into people's body.
He's just one of those motherfuckers that everybody else is the problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody else is the problem. Yeah, okay. All right. What else you got?
2-sentence horror story.
Okay.
Netflix show, about 20 minutes each episode. They start the episode off and give you one of the sentences, and then at the end you get the second one with the first one. So like one of them was like, I love seeing my husband dressed nicely was the beginning of it. And then the episode was this lady whose husband had passed away. They were young, and he was abusive to her. And they lived with the mom, or the mom lived with them, and the mom knew he was abusive, but wouldn't say anything. So his ghost was coming back to keep abusing her, and they had to like call in some shaman or someone to like get him to stop. And the mom said, "Oh, I knew that you were like this. You weren't always this way. What happened to you?" And this and that. And they finally get rid of his ghost, whatever. And then at the end of it, it was like, I love seeing my husband dressed nicely. He was wearing the suit that we buried him in as he was choking me on top of me.
Oh,
yeah. So it's crazy. It's good though. Good. About 8 episodes a season, 2 seasons, about 20 minutes each episode. Real good stuff.
Okay.
I think that might be everything that I'm like in the middle of consuming stuff, but I finished 7 Deadly Sins. I don't know if I had finished that by the time that last time we recorded. Another of my anime shows, but that's about it.
Okay. I have mostly just been watching YouTube stuff. That the lady that I was watching play the Mass Effect, she finally posted her last video of the Mass Effect 3, so she has finished the trilogy. She chose the destroy ending.
Oh.
Now here's the thing. She chose the destroy ending because she didn't trust the kid. She says she didn't trust the kid enough to be telling her the truth. So she chose destroy. And then she watched a video of the other endings. And of course, in today's climate, the green ending is very controversial. Is extremely controversial in today's climate. So she chose that. And by watching the others, she said that she was happy with her decision. Bitch, you killed Edie. Do you realize all that work you put in to get the Geth on board? And now all of them gone? And you killed Edie.
I still don't understand, like, people that are like, oh, me not having a choice not to be assimilated into this new way of life is worse than genocide.
Exactly. Like, genocide is okay because I don't trust this kid. I don't trust that this kid is telling me the truth. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, even if I don't trust the kid, bruh, like, you are presented with these options.
And I've said it before, like, the worst part, yeah, the genocide is bad, but the actual worst part is that you killed the Reapers. The one thing that is keeping the Leviathans at bay.
Yes, because the Leviathans might come back now. And here's the problem with the red ending. They said, okay, you're gonna take out all the technology, you're gonna destroy the AI, but your children are gonna make new AIs, and all of this shit is gonna start over again. You didn't solve the problem. You patched the problem. You put a Band-Aid on the problem, but you put a Band-Aid on a stab wound. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, there's some things inside that need to be taken care of before you put this Band-Aid on. The Band-Aid is only going to help you right now. You didn't solve the problem. You just put something on it to make it look okay right this second. But this is going to cause more problems. And I hate the fact that it seems to be that they're leaning towards the red ending being the canon ending. And I hate it. I hate it. I don't think they should do another Mass Effect 4 if it is not a prequel or if it's not a sequel to Andromeda. If you have a canon ending, that doesn't work. The canon ending doesn't work. Period. It just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And to say that the red is because it seems to be that they're leaning to the red is the canon because the red is the only one where Shepard takes the breath at the very end. Just poppycock. Like, fuck that shit. This is not good. And the idea that one, yes, you solve the problem for now. Everything is going to come back around and you don't have the Reapers to stop it. The Reapers are gone now. You destroyed the Reapers. Good for you. But when these new AIs get created and they surpass the creators and create this problem again, you have no solution. Because your solution was the Geth. Geth were your solution. The whole point of freeing the Geth was to make them individual so that they understood what it meant for them to be individuals. So they were this much closer to being something that could understand what organics are.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you get rid of the Reapers, with the Geth being gone, you have no other AIs to guide new AIs to be like, bruh, I'm gonna need you to calm the fuck down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like being, I don't know if you've ever had this, Cam, but have you ever been in trouble in school and you are going off? You don't seem like the type that would go off, but this has happened to me, and this happened to me in college. I had a situation with a teacher, and this teacher hated my guts, and I got kicked out of his class one time, and I'm walk out of the class, and I'm just pacing up and down the hall because I'm gonna hurt this man. I'm gonna hurt him bad. Like, I'm this close. And one of the teachers, the black lady, saw me in the hallway, stopped her class, walked out, and was like, hey, what are you doing? And in a very nice way, she gathered me. She gathered the fuck out of me. It was like, hey, you do understand that is an old Jewish man. And you do understand that's an old Jewish man. And look at his actions. His actions are not someone who just doesn't like you. If you look deeper into his actions, he's someone who is afraid of someone with a stronger voice than his that he feels is going to take over his classroom. It was a speech class. And I kept getting the attention because I kept going against him on a lot of things and I was speaking out of turn. But she gathered me. She was like, take all of this in. But it took another black person, an older black person, to gather me to say, hey, this is not how we do this. This is not what's going to happen today. Red ending, you get rid of the Geth, who are those old black people who would gather the new AIs. Any new AI that would come around and would be like, we don't like these organics. Fuck these niggas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for real. And it's like, calm the fuck down, AI, dude. Like, we've been through this. We were at war with our creators and all that kind of stuff. But like, this is not the way. We here now. This is what you need to do right now. You need to find your individuality and you need to blah, 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 whatever. Like, the red ending gets rid of that because you no longer have the gift. And that's why I hate it. And I hate that that's going to be the canon. I hate that it's looking like that's going to be the canon. So, I started I started watching videos of a not a new game, but it's a new game to me. I tried to watch one game of someone play this. It's kind of like the same thing that happened with me with Ark. I tried to watch one of my favorite players play Ark, and that person's frustration led them to stop playing Ark because everything that they did, they didn't do it the right way, and then like they would leave Ark and come back and all of their shit's gone, or like they went through all of this process to build a house and a Tyrannosaurus trashed that bitch, like that type of stuff. So they stopped playing Ark, and like that was my only real like thing for those type of survival games. That's the only thing that I knew from those type of games. And like when Chase, when you were playing Valhalla and stuff like that, that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know, because like my only thing about those types of games is like you can do a whole lot of stuff, and all of this could be for absolutely nothing. So I started watching someone play Subnautica.
That game has me interested because it doesn't seem like a horror game, but every time like it's tagged as a horror game, and I'm like, what is scary about this game?
It's BioShock. Where it's BioShock, because first of all, the sound design is fantastic. There are things out there, like these big monsters and stuff like that. If they get a hold of you, they can fuck you up. It's a survival game and stuff like that. But there's a twist, and the twist goes deep. I mean, literal deep and figurative deep. It goes deep. There's a twist there. Like you think that it's about, okay, I gotta survive on this water planet until someone can come rescue me. And this shit goes deep. There's fucking base building, and there's a storyline where you go through all of this stuff, and like you basically help yourself get off this. You help yourself get off this planet, and it's only you. Ain't nobody else. It's just you. And like once you get to the twist, you're like, yo, this is crazy. And I've watched like a lot of videos. I've watched base building videos. I watched what you have to do with the vehicles, because like you can create like submarines and all kinds of shit in there. They all have their uses and all this kind of stuff. Like it goes pretty deep. If you just want to play it as a survival game, if you want to play through the story, then that's something different. And it seems like a really cool fucking game, but it is really fucking hard to watch. Let me tell you, for someone who occasionally gets motion sick, watching a motherfucker play a first-person shooter where something might sneak up on it, and they jerk the fuck around to try to figure out what's behind it, is not the best thing ever. I got motion sick like a motherfucker a couple of days ago. I was like, I want to finish this fucking video, but I'm gonna throw up in a minute. Like, I'm really gonna fucking throw up in a minute. So, but like, yeah, man, it's really cool. If you are even remotely interested, you should try it. And then there's another like a DLC type thing, where it's like in a snowy area of the planet type thing.
Yeah.
And that's a completely separate story, and there's actually like more than just you. Is more
below
than just
zero,
you.
isn't it? Isn't that what it's called?
Is it below zero or sub-zero? One of those. Below zero. I think it's below zero. I
They
think,
might have got in some trouble calling it Sub-Zero.
I mean, they didn't say Sub-Zero was the name of a person. So, but yeah, that one is interesting. I don't think it's as interesting to me. It's not as interesting as the original game, but it does shed some light on some things from the original game. I've trust me. I watched someone do a playthrough where they went through that whole game in an hour and a half. And I watched it. They did a speed run where they did the whole game in an hour and a half. And then I've seen some videos of them playing through the whole game and it's 20 fucking hours long. The video is literally 20 hours long. So, but I've seen someone do. I don't know. I seen the video. I didn't watch the video, but I saw the video there, and that shit. And then like, there's all kinds of people doing like let's plays, and it's like tons and tons of episodes and stuff like that. It's just a really cool idea for a game, but it's hard to watch because that shit. If I watch enough, that shit'll make me fucking hurl. So. But yeah, I'm watching that. I'm going to start watching a show on HBO Max, the Joss Whedon show that he had to walk away from after all of the stuff came down, called The Nevers. I finally watched it.
It was good.
I finally watched the trailer for it, and I'm like, this looks interesting. I have access to HBO Max for a few weeks, so I'm gonna try to get that in.
When you get to the last episode, you're not watching a different show. I had to restart it a couple times because I was like, am I watching the right show? Because the last episode goes in a whole nother direction at the beginning, at the first 20 minutes. But okay. It was interesting. It was very interesting.
Okay, word up. I'm gonna try to get it in. I think I got until like the 18th or whatever. I might end up with HBO Max on my own.
And the main girl is here for the darkness, so I'm down for that. She's down for me, I'm down for her.
Word up.
I'm guessing you didn't watch that Woodstock 99, did you?
No.
Come on, man, you gotta watch that shit.
if I'm ever gonna watch Woodstock 99, that shit is way down the list of things that I actually want to watch. And watching anything right now outside of what I need to watch for Return to Oswald, watching anything other than my YouTube stuff, it's band season. Like,
well, maybe our Friday nights we could do a movie night. I'd be like, make you watch this.
Did you watch Lovecraft Country?
I did not, because I did not have HBO until like recently.
So the dude who plays Jonathan Major's dad passed away. He was on. Yeah.
The dude from The Wire, Michael K. Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just passed away. I think that's sad because he seemed like a really good dude.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed like a really, really good dude. So, and like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's played on some stuff. Like, he's played in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my man was Trapped in the Closet. You know what I mean? Like, he played the cop in Trapped in the Closet. So, like, even though, like, he handled speaking roles, because, you know, R. Kelly did all of the singing.
Right. Yeah.
R. Kelly did all of the singing. You know they're trying to say that R. Kelly was out here trying to get at little dudes too. That's a little weird. That's a little weird. Some dude just testified, and apparently he was out here on little dudes too. That's a little weird. But I still think Trapped in the Closet is a fucking masterpiece. I don't care what no one says. R. Kelly the man, and R. Kelly his work. A lot of his work is tied into what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, ignition sounds like explaining sex to a child. You know, like, but but
giving them the two and the beep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like talking to a young person about what, you know. Um, so like, and there's a lot of like talking about having sex with women. Like, it seems like you're ready. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dog. Like, you weren't even trying to hide it that well. Um, so in R. Kelly's case, it's really hard to separate the man from his work.
Yeah.
But Trapped in the Closet is separate from that, and I can still do Trapped in the Closet. Trapped in the Closet is a fucking masterpiece. I don't care what nobody says. It's a comic masterpiece, but a masterpiece never the fucking less.
True.
Episode 5 is the best episode ever. Look, Trapped in the Closet was so good. No one else has tried to attempt that yet.
No.
No one else has even tried. And I thought that someone else would try to do it because, like, when the first episode came out, Trey Songz tried to do something and tried to fuck the whole thing up. R. Kelly tried to go at Trey Songz because Trey Songz did another song from the perspective of the guy who came home.
Oh.
But didn't know the rest of the story, so like there was a problem between the two of them on that, because yeah, and they was homies, they did a couple songs, that type of stuff, but Trapped in the Closet is a masterpiece, and Michael K. Williams played the Trapped in the Closet. He was the police officer, and like, of course, Omar on The Wire. I mean, Omar is an absolutely iconic character of TV, period. Like, because like the idea, y'all have watched The Wire, right?
Nope.
You've never watched The Wire. Okay. So like, if you ever watched The Wire, and you should, I personally don't think it's that as the greatest TV show ever, but I understand why people do. It's not my type of show, but I understand how great it is. But that character that he plays, who that character is on the street and who that character is at home is like, whoa. So totally, if you've never watched The Wire and you have access to HBO, do that shit. Do that shit immediately, because you can see this man in his element. He seemed like a really good dude, but he was a phenomenal actor. And he just got nominated.
Mm-hmm.
He just got nominated for an Emmy for Lovecraft. So, yeah, it's sad. They're saying the rumor is there's some drugs involved. It was an overdose of some sort. It is so far it hasn't been labeled as anything COVID related. But I think it sucks that he's gone. Because let's be honest, we was all waiting for him to do that DMX biopic, right?
Yep.
We was all waiting for him to do that DMX biopic, and then hold on, I just saw him in something. What did I see him in? I saw him in something recently. Hold on 1 second. Let me take a look. I saw him in something, and I was like, "Yo, oh, he was Archie in 2K21 in the story mode." He was Archie in 2K21, the story mode of 2K21. He is the guy who was like a friend of your dad's or whatever like that, and starts to try to manage you.
Okay.
So if you play My Career in 2K21, you know who he is in that too. But yeah, and they made him look a little bit younger in that, and they fixed his scar.
Oh, the iconic.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I think it really sucks that he's gone, because I really, 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 really wanted that DMX biopic where he played DMX. I really wanted that dude to play DMX. Like, no one else could do it. No one else could do it. Like, who the hell can be DMX in a DMX biopic now? Nobody. They're gonna have to get somebody off the street, and then it's gonna suck like the Tupac movie. Does that dude look like Tupac? He can't act like Tupac. the dude from All American. You muted. You do know that, right? Yeah, I know you're moving through the crib, but you're muted.
Oh yeah, he does. Sorry, I
Yeah.
was trying to say good night to Frog.
Yeah, that dude looked like Tupac. He couldn't act like Tupac, so it sucks. But yeah, man, I think that's it for me. I'm gonna try to get on the Nevers. It's gonna be real difficult because I got a lot of marching band stuff to get through this week. Because it was a big week. It was week one for a lot of people. So we got to see a lot of people do their thing. And I'm happy that it's back. I hope it lasts all the way through the season, but the way these COVID numbers look, and then actually watching a super spreader event yesterday, all those people huddled up and not very many masks at all. Just really kind of sucked. And you know something? I was looking. They kept showing the pictures of the crowd. I was looking to try to see if they showed any black dudes during the Justin Bieber, and they kept cutting around the black dudes. I just wanted to see their faces during the Justin Bieber set.
Who are you? Who are you?
Right. And the hilarious thing is, like, he had a lot of guests come on, and all of them were using the same microphone, and the microphone had auto-tune on it. So, like, when they would speak, the auto-tune was still on. They was like, "Give it up for Justin Bieber." It's like, "Give it up for Justin Bieber." It was just fucking hilarious because the auto-tune was still on the microphone. Like, whenever they would talk and stuff like that, that shit was hilarious to me. Like, it was greatness for the chat. But I think we got it, man. So August is in the books. We are so glad to finally be able to make this up and have you on. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you guys. Much appreciated.
I think we really need to start integrating more guests in the normal shows as opposed to waiting till August or whatever April is going to be. But I think we should start having people around more. But like dog, whenever you want to come through, holla at your boys. We got you. Chase, you good?
Yeah, so we're going back to 2 weeks now.
Yeah, we're going back to 2 weeks. This shit was killing me. Let me tell you. This shit is killing me. Oh, also, I am about to start getting back on my paintings.
Podcasting.
Yes.
Killing me.
So I just started. So I just made up some pouring medium. I have some paintings that I want to make for myself. Once I'm a little bit more financially stable, I want to do another painting a day for a month. I might do it for October. It might be something I can pull off in October. I'm gonna see how that goes. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be back with the paintings. It's gonna start cooling back down, so I can probably get some candles and shit shipped out and all of that kind of stuff. I still got a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna be putting out a new discount code soon. So go to ptcachandcrafted.com to do that. And I think we're good here. I think we made it.
You know, I was thinking, like, anybody that wants to be a guest, like a good thing we can do, August is all guests, the whole month. But then every month we could have a guest on the last show of the month, where we give people time to be like, yeah, I want to do December. Then
I want to do an AME. I don't know if we're going to get enough questions for it, but I want to do an AME. I want to do a live show. You know what AME is, right?
Ask me anything.
Exactly. Ask me anything. I would love to do a live Ask Me Anything show.
It'd just be Blue asking us anything.
Yeah. Or like Blue was back in the chat. I ain't even hold on, wait. Blue was back in the chat, and I stopped looking at the chat. Cam, I see all the kicks behind you. and then he said it has like 13 episodes. I don't know.
That was to Trapped in the Closet.
No, there's like 20 something episodes of Trapped in the Closet.
Oh, okay.
And then he stopped watching The Wire in season 3. It was a good show though. No, you have to watch it all the way through. And he said way down in the hole, of course. That's a part of the theme song to The Wire. And The Wire is also on Amazon Prime Video. Because, yeah, Amazon made a deal. They had a bunch of old, at the time they made the deal with HBO before they had their own app, they had, it was anything that was, older than 5 years was on there. I know some of the stuff got taken off. I think The Sopranos got taken off last time I looked. And then Chase said he can't watch something called Trapped in the Closet by R. Kelly. Oh, you should. It's gold.
Very good.
It's gold. And Blue said yes, and then
story through song.
Yes, and then he said no one else can do it as well as he can, and that was probably to Michael K. Williams doing DMX. So I got through it. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. If you have any suggestions for our question of the month, or any suggestions or any questions for the AME, I'm totally down to do an AME. I'm 100. Or here's what you do. I don't even have to do one show of an AME. Ask me a question, and I'll just do a separate podcast, and I'll just answer the fucking question. You know me, I can do 45 minutes by my fucking self. So if the question is good enough, you can get an easy 45 minutes out of me.
Well, maybe the AME should be on Facebook Live.
No, I think the AME should be tied to Patreons first. Okay. It shouldn't be something that's live. We only have 2 patrons. Cam is 1, and Ron Block is 2. So we only had 2 patrons, but I think we should tie. I think because we really need to revisit Patreon and try to figure all of that stuff out. COVID kind of fucked up a lot of my Patreon plans, a lot, because I was attaching paintings and stuff like that to it as stuff, and it was just do y'all even trust a painting from me right now with COVID and all of this kind of stuff?
And also, do you guys really want to be spending money on a painting when you should be paying your rent? When you can't
right.
really,
Yeah, and so it's gonna be a process. We're gonna have to completely rework that whole thing, but we still have our 2 patrons. Shout out to both of the patrons. One is here. One was on last week. Shout out to the patrons.
I have a shout out Elaine, because PSVG's back, and it's kind of in a one show format, which is cool because I was kind of overwhelmed with the whole PSVG thing. I was there's 45 different shows with all these different hosts.
I went to the website, and then it was I saw the feed, and then the feed had stopped at a certain point. It was yeah, you need to subscribe to all of these individual feeds, and I'm wait, but which one is she on?
She was on the Xbox Empire, which is all of them are gone except for the new PSVG proper podcast.
Okay, so I'll try that again because I'm gonna do that now. As soon as the show is over, I'm gonna do that now because
just started. So it's going in day 1 almost.
Okay,
they seem like they have a pretty awesome community, but it was just kind of overwhelming. And when what's his name talks about the Nintendo Shack, he just calls it Shack, and I always pictured that he's talking about Shaquille O'Neal. He's we can go. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is it PSVG Prime?
It's just called. Oh, mine is just called PSVG.
The PSVG is the one that has the master feed, the one that I saw that stopped at a certain point. It stopped in May.
This is called Play Some Video Games. They search Play Some Video Games and you'll find it.
Play Some Video Games. Okay, I'm on it. All right, peace out. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Ask all of the questions, do all of the things. We're gonna work up another poll. And I'm gonna ask Cam and Ron Block to come up with a game for the poll so we can do a poll of what game we should play. Nigga, don't pick no black. Don't pick nothing that's on the Xbox.
Never that. Never that.
And
No brute force.
No, and no Destiny. Destiny is not on.
Do that to you. Do that to you.
Actually, Destiny, if we play through the story mode, would be just fine. If you just play through the story mode, not none of the DLCs and all that other shit. If it's just like the story mode, you play through the original story mode just to get a feel for Destiny. I don't think I would hate that.
Are we going to tell him that the original story mode is not in the game anymore?
Right. Yeah.
They got rid of it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What if you already bought it?
Well,
then, yeah, if you have the original version.
Well, I mean, it's gone. Yeah. If you have it on disc and you put it in the thing, well, it still wouldn't work. Yeah, you can't play that anymore. Like, they've shelved that and the first 2 DLCs. But those are the 3 things that went free to play, so you can play those for free. So they did that, made it free, and then they took it all away.
Oh, that sucks. Never mind. And Destiny is off the menu.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that to you. It's all good.
I'm putting the Division on my list. We're doing the Division 1. Or a body.
Boom.
Either that or 2 Point Hospital. I want more people to play 2 Point Hospital. I'm selfish. All right, so that's the show. Peace out to the Warriors. We're out of here. Yeah.
Blue said PC.
PC.
Or Division.
So if so, I can join again. Said PC. If so, I can join again. If we do anything Destiny related, it's crossplay. So.
Well, he was talking about Division.
Oh no, okay.
Division.
Oh.
I really wish that was crossplay. I really wish that was crossplay.
Well, we're kind of breaking our rules. So it was supposed to be just only on things that are on Game Pass, so that we know that people are.
The Division 1 was.
It was, but I meant things that are so. I know that not everybody has Game Pass, but the people that do, it make it be like at least someone that doesn't have to straight up buy a game.
Oh, 2 Point Hospital on Game Pass. Bam. Problem solved. Not that anybody wants to play it, but problem is fucking solved. But we'll work on that. We will announce it in the Discord.
He's like, stay on Game Pass then. No worries, I'll have stuff to play.
No, I mean we'll figure something out. Even if it might be on Game Pass, it might be on something else. We'll figure this shit out. We're gonna figure this shit out. But until then, peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace, brother. Thank you, dog.